What's going on YouTube? It is your buddy, everybody's buddy, Car Craftsman, back with another video, and today I am working with this 1987 Chevy Corvette, and I've had a lot of fun working on this thing. This is my buddy Dave's shop that I work out of, and he wanted this thing spruced up so he could go out cruising for chicks, and then we could eventually sell it, and then hopefully get some bigger, better projects in here. And today what we are going to be doing is a full paint job. And right now I'm going to be laying down a base layer of Kirker's Ultra Glow single stage urethane top coat. Now, I've worked with Kirker quite a bit of times in the past. The single stage is pretty good in my opinion. I used it for my Dodge Neon in another video that I have up here, and I used it on a couple other things. I painted a whole van, and I can't even remember what else I've used. It goes on just like you would paint clear coat, being a urethane. It lays down just the same, and that's kind of the same kind of technique that you want to use. Now, fiddling with the metallics and the pearls in this thing are going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think I got this one down pretty decent now, to the point where I can make a video and not embarrass myself. And today I'm also going to be using the HTE Spectrum Black Widow from Harbor Freight. And I got this not too long ago, and I've done a couple videos with it, and the videos have done really good so far, so I'm going to keep rolling with it. Now, this is a urethane, and this gun is best with, I would stretch to say, urethanes. Top coats and base coats, or sealer coats, and whatever urethanes that you have, I believe this thing is going to really be able to break up and atomize that paint really good and lay down a great top coat. So I'm anxious to see what that's going to do, and hopefully you are too. Now, this body is fiberglass, so there's no rust on it or anything like that. There was quite a bit of chunk going on up here and through the doors and stuff like that. Maybe I'll show you a couple pictures of the repair process that I did. So as you can see, I do have a lot of bare areas, a lot of areas that aren't covered with primer, and typically you don't want to do that when it gets time, or before you put a top coat like a single stage on top of it, because you are going to see this, and I know that you're going to see this from experience and just past experience. So what I plan to do is laying down a coat of the Kirker urethane single stage, probably 3 coats or so, getting good coverage on here, sanding that, put the bumpers on so that we're going to get proper metallic and pearl layout with the whole car. If you don't put your bumper on, you're going to end up with a different texture in the bumper, or it just doesn't lay out good. You want this whole thing together in the way that it's going to sit for the final coat. That way everything flows and lays down good. I got my project all tacked down. It's getting pretty serious in here. About to mask up, set my spray pattern behind me, and go ahead and lay down my first coat. So here it is the next morning after getting the 3 coats on there, and there's a couple things that I've noticed here. Everything laid out pretty good. It's pretty dust free and everything, but I definitely didn't get the gloss that I did when I don't thin this paint. So I'm pretty sure for this top coat that I'm not going to thin this paint hardly at all. Now urethanes are thick, like I said. They have pretty good build to it, and you get urethane primers and urethane sealers that are supposed to take stuff like this out. Now if you remember, there was a lot of area around here that wasn't sealed, and you could see the repair area around it. Now that I've got this covered here with the urethane single stage, you could still see, where are we at here? You can still see just a little bit of reflection on that repair area. So that's kind of what I wanted to achieve here. I actually wanted to paint this almost like a primer, be able to block out what orange peel I have on here, and then build my gloss coat on top of that. Now I'm also going to be putting the front and rear bumper on to make sure that this pearl lays out the way that it's supposed to on all the surfaces, and yeah, I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to put the bumpers on, prep this with 600 on a DA, and give it a couple gloss coats here. So here it is another day later. I've been tied up with some things at the shop and haven't really been able to get to this thing. But we went ahead and sanded everything with the DA and 600. I wet sanded a lot of this car, and it's looking really smooth. It's looking pretty good. And we're about to go ahead and lay the top layer on this thing. Now we put together both the bumpers just so we can get the pearl alignment right and all that. We do got a little bit of adjustment we got to do to this front bumper. I think the shims are a little bit out of place and it's pushing that out, but we're going to take care of that. And yeah, so let's get to this top coat. Time for the second coat. Hope to lay this one down wet and fast. Alright, so I don't have any sun, but here's the results outside here in the natural light. We got some pretty decent results. We got some modeling going on too. But for the most part, what I did when I planned on using the urethane as a sealer and then sanding around the bodywork areas that didn't have any sealer on it seemed to have worked. If you remember, this area here was really bad, and that sealed up really nice. And then the most important part was right here on the hood, and that really turned out pretty good. Now you can see I did get some modeling going on, and it should get buffed. It's not that bad, but of course you can see it. Working with a single stage is tough. You got one shot to really get it right. And I think this center, you could definitely see a stripe right in the center. I think it's just because I put a little bit too much right there. But all in all, I think the Black Widow really did perform really good on this. Even though I did get some modeling, that's a big hood, and we'll say that's painter's error. But yeah, we got the black top to match it. She's looking pretty good. You know the deal. If you like the video, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe for more content like this. Hope to grow my channel here. Look for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway coming up soon. And as always, thank you for watching.